Hello guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about the Numeron cards that are going to be releasing in this TCG's Legendary Duelist set. These cards are very interesting in my opinion. I'm a big fan of ZEXAL, so of course I was going to like this and want to put out this video. So there isn't too many effects since some are clumped together. But with that being said, if you don't know the structure of these videos, I go through all the card effects individually and then talk about the archetype at the end. With that being said, let's jump right into the video. So, of course, we go over all the card effects first. There is about, there's many cards, but some of them are clumped together because they have the same effect. But going over, we have one single main deck monster for this archetype. It is called Numeron Wall, which is a level 1 Dark Fiend effect with 0/0 for its stat. Its effect reads, if you control no cards, or the only card you control is a Numeron Wall. Quick effect, you can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard, activate one Numeron network from your hand or deck. You can only use this effect of this card once per turn. When you take battle damage, you can special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, end the battle phase after the damage step. Okay, so this is honestly very interesting. It is battle protection. It is pretty much a battle feeder in a way. It kind of stops the attacks. You just need to take damage once, boom, there you go. It gets it. You can special it from the hand and the battle phase. Pretty good effect, especially since this archetype can be very fast but needs to be very protective at a certain point. So this effect's very good. Also, being able to search for Numeron Network is very important for this archetype. We'll go over Numeron Network soon, but for a starting card, this card is really good. Now here's the cards that we have to clump together. We have number 1, Numeron Gate Ekam, number 2, Numeron Gate Div, number 3, Numeron Gate Trini, and number 4, Numeron Gate Katvari. I don't know, they're probably based off some other language that isn't mine that I just straight don't know. So, sorry for butchering things, but they all read with the same things. It is a rank 1 Light Machine XYZ's effect with 1,100 for its stat line. They all take 3 level 1s to make. And their effect reads, for all of them, each 4 cards, they cannot be destroyed by battle. At the end of the damage step, if this card battles opponent's monster, you can detach 1 material from this card, double the attack of all Numeron monsters you can currently control until the end of this turn. That's it. So you're like, okay, just for 1 of them you can boost all your Numerons. So if you get 2 of them on the field, that's doubling the attack. 3 of them, you're quadrupling. 4 of them, you're times 8. I don't think there's a specific thing for that. But, you know, the boost seems pretty crazy but hard to pull off. Well, don't you worry. You probably know the effects already, so we'll get this quick. We'll get through these and you'll be like, okay, alright. So, there is a chaos number for 1 of them. So number 1, Numeron Chaos Gate Sunya, is a rank 2 Dark Machine effect with 2,000. It takes 4 level 2 monsters to make, but of course it's a chaos number. You're going to summon it otherwise. You can also XYZ summon this monster using number 1, the card number 1, you control as material. Alright, good. We don't have to use a rank up magic in any sort of way to do this, but you still can. If this card is XYZ summoned, banish all monsters on the field. And once per turn during the next standby phase after this card was banished, you can special summon this banished card. Then if Numeron Network is in your field zone, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the combined attack of all banished XYZ monsters. Yeah, this is pretty insane. If you were able to banish all the cards off your field, let's say you have all the numbers that are in this archetype, boom, you have burned your opponent for a total of 5,000. Almost over half your life points, which is pretty impressive. There's easy ways to facilitate this in the deck, so yeah, very good. Again, this will be very much in the afterthoughts, because you have to read it all to really get this archetype. So, the legendary Numeron network that Numeron Wall was able to search is a field spell. It says you can send one Numeron normal spell that meets the activation conditions from deck to grave. This effect becomes that spell's effect when this card is activated. You can only use this effect of Numeron network once per turn. And, secondary, you can activate the effects of Numeron XYZ monsters you control without attaching material. And this does not trigger in any way. It's not like, okay, I have to activate it. So it just happens naturally. If you're able to activate an effect that would detach from a Numeron card, you can just be like, nah, I ain't going to do that. So, again, very interesting, very cool overall. But we still have one more card. And that card is Numeron Calling, which puts it all together. It is a normal spell. If a Numeron network is in your field zone and you control no monsters, so that's the conditions that has to meet. So what effect do you copy? You special up to 4 Numeron Gate XYZ monsters from your extra deck with different names, but banish them during the end phase. Also, you cannot normal or special summon for the rest of that turn. Hold up, I read that incorrectly. Also, you can only normal or special summon once for the rest of this turn. Yeah, that is pretty good. So pretty much have field, don't have monsters, it's a blank field. Okay, boom, put these 4 on the field. Theoretically, you're able to attack with all of them. They all have their effects, and they'll be able to activate their effects since the field provides it so. So you'll be able to attack if you're attacking monsters. At the end, it boosts everything. It doubles the attacks, not original currents. So if they all have boosts, they'll keep going up. You know, a lot of craziness, but I'll talk about it all at my final thoughts. So what are my overall thoughts on this archetype? Well, we have to talk about everything that just connects it together. So, pretty much, if you have the field, you're able to summon 4 chaos monsters to your field. You'll be able to summon the chaos and be able to burn for a full 5,000 damage overall. That's pretty impressive. Burning for 5,000 is very good. Nothing to scoff at in any way. But there's generally no way of getting more on the field, since you're only able to summon 1 more that turn. So you need to get something of a pretty high rank within that one summon, which you still need to use that summon to go into the Chaos Monster. Again, if you were able to activate a rank up magic during your opponent's turn, you can block off this effect. I think there is one rank up magic that does do that. Rank up magic, Quick Force, not Quick Launch. There's a Variant card, it has some chains. I'm pretty sure that ranks up during either player's turn. So if you did want to play that, so you can be able to dodge that effect, you'll be able to try and get another high-ranked monster on the field, so you'll be able to burn for full. That is a possibility. Let's get this other possibility out of the way there. You get 1 more summon, you have 3 with the same rank that are number cards. You could go into number SO, Utopic ZEXAL. It will have 3,000 attack and will stop your opponent from pretty much doing anything during their own turn for 3 turns. Yeah, pretty nuts. That is honestly very degenerate, so this deck already has that going for it, but also it would have to build some follow-up because you're left with only the SO and another monster on the field that is going to get banished due to the effect of Numeron Calling. So you'll be able to have to put more damage onto the field. You know, there's been decks to experiment with this. You know, ELDLICH, it can put itself on field and it becomes 35. So that you're getting a lot of the damage in there. Like 2 of them, that's 7k. And your opponent didn't get to play anything, so there you go, you're set. So there's a lot of degenerate stuff to go along with these Numerons. But just looking at it traditionally, in its own style, it has a lot it can do. Realize you'll be able to attack is a very strong OTK. I feel similar to Cubics. Besides Cubics, you can argue consistency. Pretty much once you summon Nova Lord is generally a pretty good OTK, since it'll be able to do 3,000 burn during the end phase of the turn. It's unaffected by monster effects, pretty much. If you have something higher than 3k, by all means you can use it, but there's not too many in that pool that can actually do that. So it's pretty similar to that card is able to OTK. This deck, I feel, is very similar, where it can get in, maybe it doesn't get in 8k damage, but during your main phase 2, you can go banish your whole field, also your opponent's field. It wipes your opponent's field too. Let's not get that wrong. And you'll be able to at least within what you have played on the field, burn your opponent for 5,000 damage. That's pretty good. You only need to do 3k in battle damage. So a blank field, okay, that's 4,000. Getting through, there's one monster, let's say tack, you know, there's ways to meet the condition to get the OTK. There's still the problem, you have to be able to keep the field spell up. Luckily, Numeron Wall, if you are able to have that, will protect you from battle as long as you keep it in your hand. There's other ways to block battle, so that's something you don't have to much worry about. Should be more blocking stuff that are to disrupt your field spell, because if that field spell is not up, you cannot resolve the part of the burn damage. So that's something you do have to consider. There's a bunch of things that can be only reactive. People have been experimenting with Ultrageist, I'm pretty sure. Ultrageist Numeron. And there's other things you could throw in Paleos. You know, they're reactive traps. They do stop your opponent pretty well. Not as well as S0, but still, I feel S0 will get hit before this archetype comes out. I'll just say that. This deck has so much going for it. Just insane amount of things. But it does have the weakness that it does have to protect its field spell. It's kind of like generators, that it has to have the field spell to really operate. This, it needs the field spell to start its play and to finish off the opponent. So it just needs to stay there. Luckily, it does not have to stay there for a long time, because the deck gets its job quickly once it has itself started. So there is something to say. And you may think Numeron Calling is the only card that can, you know, be activated off the field spell. I'm pretty sure you are able to activate Numeron's Force, which will rank up your Chaos 1, rank up into your Chaos 1, pretty much. And the also beneficial effect within that rank up, it negates all cards on the field. So it means your opponent would not be able to respond to the effect of banishing, and since the second part of the effect is kind of something that just resolves if it is met, not something that triggers necessarily, it's just kind of the follow-up, like the but return it during the end phase type of effect. So yeah, that's very good. You can play that within the deck. So if you hard open Numeron Calling, so you're playing 3 of it, you hard open, you'll be able to activate it if you have the field, and then you'll be able to use the field to instead dump Numeron's Force, negate all the effects, so you'll be able to resolve the banishing effect, which means it guarantees banishing all your opponent's cards. Again, your cards, so you'll be able to do the 5,000 damage as long as you keep the field spell. A lot of the field spell protecting cards are a little bit weird and wonky, but you could necessarily play them. But if you are playing good stuff to go along with the deck, there may be good chances that you'll be able to stop your opponent from popping it. Again, I feel it is matchup dependent what your opponent's playing. You know, if they main Twin Twister, it's going to suck balls for you. If they're maining just any spell and trap removal directly, it's going to suck. But if they are a deck that decides, hey, I'm just going to try and combo and set up this board against you, you're able to get the burn down. They don't play too much stuff to pop back row. You'll be able to win out those games way easier. So again, this deck is a little bit matchup dependent, but it does have a lot of splashability, and you can throw other cards since the deck can operate in like single 1-card combos. And that's something pretty nice. You'll be able to have the other cards to be able to play against your opponent, and you can kind of make it in a deck that, okay, if this doesn't go through, I still have this working for us. Kind of like the Pendulum FTK, where it was like, okay, I have the FTK, but if the FTK is not going to work, I still am playing pendulums when it's the best deck. So that's just something to note. It kind of remarks similar on that with the type of splash ability you can throw in other stuff. Is like, oh yeah, this plan B works just as well as plan A. And that's something that's really good about this archetype compared to what I compared it to Cubics that has to play all within itself. Overall, this deck, it's going to do something. Even if they hit SO, I feel this deck will be annoying. It's going to be Cubics. It's going to be that one deck you run across, they just smack you down in the regional and you're like, bro, like I was already X2 at this event. Why did you have to come and hit me like that? You know, I feel it can play the role as that type of deck within the format. I don't see it realistically being meta because there's definitely a lot of ways to properly respond to this archetype. Again, it bounds itself to one card to really get itself working. If the field spell goes, you're going with it. But again, you can splash other things to mitigate the loss of losing your field spell. You know, having to rely on a field spell, it does, you know, knock off some of the splash ability options, but definitely it still has a lot to work with. I definitely really like this archetype. Definitely it's going to make an impact, and that's my thoughts on the archetype. So hope you guys did enjoy the video. I did try to keep it a little bit short this time. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you liked and enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Alright, goodbye.